What is going on, YouTube? It is Primitive here, and today I'm going to be bringing you another BT10 match. Today we are going to be having an older deck with Imperial, which I'll be piloting on the right, but on the left we are going to be having the Minerva loop, which is kind of just an updated older deck. We did have the Lilith loop for the longest of times now, but with Minerva, it really does add a lot of pressure because you get the ability to cycle with the Revive of Darkness, or you get the ability to, when your opponent hard play something, you can play out a level 4 like a scatter mode, which when there's so much digicross going on is pretty important. So my opponent is getting pretty aggressive in here early, playing out a lot of rookies, and they swung in with that Tsukaimon and it survived because they hit into the Labramon. So right now they are putting on a ton of pressure. If they full swing in out right here, I would just go down to 1 security, and I don't really have anything to do about it. Don't have Ice Wall or anything, so I'm just going to go ahead and play out the Davisken. I do give my opponent a pretty good amount of memory, but now I am going to be going to minimum 4 next turn when I promote, which can help me go ahead and get some more combos going. But they are going to finally swing in and go down to that Leomon in security, draw 1 Trash Wand, and going to put a Serb in the trash, so representing that they probably already have one in hand. And actually, I think they're considering playing the Revive from Darkness to delete a Digimon and play out that Serb. So that is pretty interesting. Gonna go ahead and swing in. Gonna hit HPD, so that helps me a lot if I do go into something like Dragon Mode, especially because I have the Davisken out. And then they are just full swinging in, so going with the Gazi, gonna go down. They do get rid of their source to be able to stop me from gaining memory, but with the Davisken out and the HPD, I could pretty much go for anything I want no matter what. And now my opponent's just gonna pass, not wanting to bring out that Cerberus, likely because they're worried about it getting bottom decked by Imperialdramon when DNA Digivolving. So gonna go ahead and swing with the XVmon over the Psychmon here because I want to get that draw. I don't want to worry about swinging into something like Deathclaw or anything like that, so I can just get the damage off the board, get that draw, be able to play out the Stingmon, now go into Imperialdramon. Now obviously I could have bottom decked there if I went for that, but I didn't want to really get punished for it, and I figured I could, so gonna go ahead and swing in. We see that it is the Cerberusmon, but with the jamming I would have been fine, but it's okay. I just wanted to play relatively safe. I'm already kind of behind, so I should technically want to play risky, but I do have the Madoki, and I'm gonna be able to put my opponent at 1, and with the Madoki out, my opponent's deck primarily just gains memory from a lot of different angles, so being able to stop that will slow them down for a turn as they digivolve into scatter mode. Now I'm gonna go to 5 because I have a green Digimon as well on the board now. Gonna be able to gain another memory when I swing in with that Vmon on suspend, and now I'm gonna go for the HPD to be able to go into the fighter mode, be able to use the Davisken to unsuspend. This is gonna allow me to swing. Gonna swing in with the Madoki so that way I don't get punished by something like Deathclaw. Probably should have swung in with it first so that they couldn't kill my Madoki with Deathclaw if I swung into it, but wasn't punished and was able to take it there. So although my opponent had a very strong aggressive start, that's not what this deck is really going for. It wants much more combo oriented aggression, and so just going for the Rookie Rush didn't really work out. They almost got there, but was able to go for essentially a little 2-turn knockout because of that Madoki shutting them down for a turn. But now moving on into game 2, we are gonna have me going first, and I just have the Davisken, nothing to really play out, and you see me just playing the Imperialdramon right here, so that's not helping too much either. My opponent had a much better start, being able to get up into a Cerberusmon in the back, which they can use to be able to go into werewolf mode, get multiple cycles going, and then go up until their mega. Giving my opponent so much memory is definitely not what I wanted to go for, but they're actually just going to go for the Minerva, interestingly enough, and then going for the swing. They still can go for on deletion effects if they want to, but the thing is without werewolf mode or anything in the trash, it's going to be a lot harder to go for the Revival of Darkness loop. So although I had a little bit rough of a start, my opponent doesn't have too much going for them either, and I do have multiple green and blue sources out, so I could potentially go ahead and Megadeth this, and that would be decently impactful, but I don't have it yet, but I do draw it right there, so I am just going to go ahead and play out the Stingmon, go to 3, Megadeth to be able to put it back to my opponent's hand. So although I don't put my opponent at 1, I do develop the XV, and if my Elijahmon stays on the board, I will be going to minimum of 3 with the Davisken, and then I can use Elijahmon itself as a DNA target for the Imperialdramon, or I could go in for the Parasaurmon or Stingmon. They are going to swing in with the Psychmon, so now I have the potential to get rid of it which will put Stingmon live. So gonna go ahead and start my turn regardless if I push or not. I am gonna go to 3 thanks to the Davisken. So there's not really a super good reason to not promote here and just get some aggression in unless I'm really scared about getting punished by the top check of security. And I'm gonna go ahead and go for the Vmon here because I don't have a level 5, but I did have the Search off the XV and then the Vmon, so I figured I would get it. Not really that worried if I didn't get it because I'm not getting super out aggressed at the moment, so I feel like I would have enough time to be able to build another stack in raising if I did not hit the Imperialdramon there, but there's no reason not to go for it because I do set up the Vmon being able to now Digivolve on top of it. Or I could use it as something like an HPD target if I needed to, but put my opponent at 1. This does limit what they can do because they don't have enough cards in trash to really start popping off with Jack Raid. They could potentially, if they have enough in trash to double Jack Raid, go up into Lilith and then be able to get them back and kind of cycle some more, but that does not look like they have enough in trash to be able to go for Jack Raid plays, so just kind of choking them right now, which is the slight downside of not having a memory tamer. This is something that can hurt the deck a lot. It does have a bunch of ways to gain memory with things like Revive from Darkness, being able to have the Analog, or even the Jack Raid, but a lot of them get shut down by Memory Tamer, so we have been considering going for a Memory Tamer ourselves, so that way these early games are not as hard, but as of right now, I am just going to be able to go for game. I'm going to swing in right here. I hit the Analog, but it doesn't matter because I can just go for the Fighter mode for 5, use the Davisken to unsuspend, and swing in and go for game. And so that is going to be it. Unfortunately, Minerva not being able to keep up with Imperial. Just a little bit too fast this set. I think Minerva still has a chance, but this set just really showed that if you start slow, Imperial can punish you, especially with its bottom decking mechanics. But with that being said, if you enjoyed, be sure to like and subscribe, and I'll catch you next time. Peace out!